Hey guys, Gaius Hennen here at the Shelter Institute. Today we're demonstrating how effective the Japanese handsaws are at cutting. So one of the first things I like to do to get a good accurate cut is to score the fiber of the wood. So to do that I'm using a framing square and a knife. And this will just ensure that I have a very accurate line to follow when I'm cutting. And it helps the saw make a much cleaner cut on the surface of the wood. This first saw that I'm using is made by Z-Saw. It's their 300 millimeter crosscut saw. One of the unique things about the Japanese hand saws is that they cut on the pull stroke. So as you can see, the teeth are angled back. So as you're cutting with these saws, you're never applying force in a forward direction, so the saw blade doesn't buckle typically. And you can also see that the tooth is sharpened on both sides, but it's also sharpened on the top. So you get a very aggressive cut. And to keep the teeth sharp, the manufacturer impulse hardens them. So they run high voltage electricity down just the tip of the tooth, and you can actually see the discoloration of the metal. That's where the hardening takes place. That gives you a very hard tooth, but the spine of the saw itself stays flexible. So to start the cut, I'm putting the saw just to the waist side of the line, and I'll just knock that corner off, and then we can start cutting. What I like to do is draw that saw cut back toward me, because I can't see this line over here. I don't want to cut down that line. So I'm going to focus on just cutting across the top of the piece of wood. Like so. Now I want to keep the teeth engaged in the cut that I've made, and I'm going to start sawing down this side of the wood because I can see the line here and here. So you notice away from me, I'm keeping the teeth just barely engaged in the saw curve so the saw doesn't dance around on me. I'm basically just going to continue sawing until I've got a diagonal line from this corner down to this corner. And notice here that I'm keeping my saw cut to the waist side of the line. That gives me a nice clean cut because this is where the knife actually sliced the wood fiber. All right, so I basically completed that diagonal line from corner to corner. I'm now going to position myself on the other side of the timber and saw along this line that I can now see. And I'm just going to alternate between sawing down the line and sawing with the handsaw level. When I get close, I'm just going to grab the block so it doesn't fall off and splinter. So you can see that the saw leaves a pretty fine cut. That's because the teeth are relatively fine. The downside to a fine-tooth saw is that it's fairly slow. So if I were in a rush, I would probably use our silky Zorn handsaw. Much bigger teeth, more aggressive cut, and it cuts much quicker.